Alright, what is up there, SEO pros? Welcome back to part 7 or something to the complete guide for beginner to advanced SEO. The reason why I'm doing this live this time on the channel is because I'm giving a good preview for anybody who's looking to check out the course, because this is a very comprehensive course that I'm making. And the reason why, like I said, that I am making this, this is part 8, on the video or on live, is because there's going to be a lot more videos in here, and I thought it would be cool to share this with a couple people, what the course is like in the middle. So what we're covering today for this section is on-page basics for what you're going to want to know about all the different things that are going to be playing into your website for on-page. Previously, we covered Google algorithms and setting up our SEO plugins. So if you did miss that, make sure you go back and check that out. But I'm assuming that you're going through this through the pinned post. And if you haven't got this course yet, all you have to do is go to the link in the description of this post that I will be putting in here and get the course while it still is on the pre-sale, which I will be changing it out of the pre-sale tomorrow. And it'll be $300 then. So anyways, what we're going to do is we're going to first start out with some notes that I took. So these are not complete. This was out of the page quality guidelines for Google. And basically what I did is I just took a bunch of notes on the different things that Google says is important around its page quality guidelines. But this was only, these notes are only taken 50 out of the 140 pages. So there's still a lot of other notes that I didn't take on this, but I found that this is probably a sufficient mark with the amount of notes we have. If we scroll through this, you can see this is all of them, to be able to kind of explain to you what Google's looking for. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go over some posts, probably going over different things that we're going to want to look at when it comes to on-page. Then we might go over tools like Quora or something and get into that. So before we start, let me just share this with a couple more places, and I'll just share it in the group itself. Live now for part 8, and then I'm going to share this on Push Crew. And one other note, if you guys want to join our Facebook group, I'm leaving that in the description of this video as well. If you want to get an invite for that, SEO course preview part 8, Jason Reiner is live, and then we'll put that in there. And then say that over on Discord as well, which if you don't have if you're not in the Discord channel, if you go in the Facebook group, in the about of the Facebook group, you'll be able to see the invite for the Discord channel as well. Cool. So I haven't shared these notes with anybody so far. So this is information that I've been wanting to make into a blog post, but I just haven't done it yet. So if you guys are looking for a downloadable version of these notes, I will be putting these up on my website in the future. And then I'll be posting it in the Facebook group. So if you want to stay notified, just make sure you're in the Facebook group. And then last thing, let me just go ahead and bring up this stream on my phone so I can look at the chat. If you guys have any questions about stuff I'm talking about, just make sure you leave your question in the chat. And then very last thing, if you guys could go ahead and leave a like on the video, I'd really appreciate that. It would help me get this video out to more people, because that's how Google's YouTube's algorithm works. Okay, cool. So important PQ guidelines. This is probably going to be a long video, so I hope you guys are ready for this. Let me just get a sip of water. It's good stuff. Cool. So I said, note, I chopped up this article and took pieces out because a huge amount of it is extremely repetitive and boring, so much so, in fact, that the first time I read this article, I fell asleep 3 different times. And well, the first time I read this article, I read through like almost all the 140 pages, but I didn't read through all of them, and it is really dry stuff. So if you guys do want to go check this out for yourself, you can actually go check out the link I will leave in the description for it, or if you just Google PQ guidelines, it'll show up. We got some people in the chat, by the way. We got Ford, what's up, man? Good morning. Anshul, what's up, dude? Real Japan HD. What's up? Marco, how you doing? Kafori, I I can answer your question later. Please, if you guys can, try to refrain from asking too many questions till a little bit later. Julio, what's up, dude? Azine, how's it going? And Phineas and Darren is in the house. And what's up, Sam and Christopher? What's up, Chris? Sweet. All right, so let's go through it. So first of all, Google says anytime you see this, it says Google. This is what Google's saying. So Google says PQ rating requires in-depth understanding of websites. So page quality is the abbreviation for that. And before we do this, let me just let you guys know that the reason why Google created these page quality guidelines is because when they hire people to go and like do manual reviews of websites, they have them read these page quality guidelines first. So these guidelines were made for people that go and rate Google's or websites for Google based off the guidelines they give. And then Google apparently adjusts its algorithms based off the different things that the manual reviewers are finding. So Google says, because different types of websites and web pages can have very different purposes, our expectations and standards for different types of pages are also different. So it's kind of a lot what we talk about in the other courses, user intent and user experience. Of course, we want to optimize for both of those things, especially moving forward in 2018. So we got an e-commerce example of what they're looking for e-commerce websites. We'll just click that open so you guys can check it out. So you can see here, this is sort of like an example of what Google's looking for. When it comes to e-commerce, you can see that they have product ratings, they got SSL, they got reviews with probably schema review markup, they got related products, they got descriptions with read more buttons, and whatever else people are looking for. And we're going to cover this in a second, but there's two different types of content on this page. There's supplementary content and main content. So just keep note of that. We're going to cover that in a second. So I wrote in here, notice the links in the footer. This website isn't even a real website, so they purposely are showing how an e-commerce site should look. So if you notice, this isn't actually a real website. At least I don't think it is. It might be. Anytime they have like a static .google user content, it's usually a website that they found and then that they made. But sorry, that's not true. This could just be a picture of like a website that they found. But either way, I looked for this website and I couldn't find it. So I think some of the websites that they do take pictures of are websites that are real, but on this one, I don't think it is. So anyways, notice the links. Sorry. So yeah, about the links in the footer, if we look at this, you can see there's different things that Google wants on certain websites. So you can see there's a contact us, there's an HTML sitemap versus, what is it? A XML sitemap, recall, product registration, about us. So these are all things that Google's looking for on websites, especially websites that you're going to be spending money on, mainly because it adds credibility to that website. So we'll cover that more in a little bit. So here you can see in quotations, websites and pages should be created to help users. That's pretty obvious, right? I put keyword equals help. So what does help mean? Help means serving the intent for what people are looking for, right? So if somebody's looking for a product, that product or that page should be as helpful as possible. And what are the ways that you can make pages as helpful as possible? Usually by providing relevant content and relevant things that are also already probably ranking very high. So one of the things that we can do is we can look for sites that are ranking for really competitive keywords and then use those as templates, because Google's obviously ranking those pages for a reason. Perhaps Google can find out if the page is helpful. So these are different things that I took notes of, things that could be helpful, right? Fast load times, authoritative content, positive feedback or reviews, social signals, high interaction signals, if that is a ranking factor. We don't know for sure or not, but we can take guesses that it is. Topical content clusters, which means having content clusters of information around your main subject. So you're hopefully an entity that gets recognized based off its content and these other things for what it's talking about. Relevant content in comparison to other content with Google user signals. So that's pretty obvious, right? Google says common helpful page purposes include, but are not limited to share information. So this is what they're saying now, right? We took the guess. This is what they're saying now. To share information about a topic, right? That makes sense. So informational based posts, which is a different type of post than like a buy type post, even though this could be helpful in a buy type post as well, as long as you're not like going way over what the user intent is trying to find. So this is a good example. Long form content is not always the best thing. If you're doing long form content for somebody who's just looking for a product and it takes like 500 pages before they can get to what the product actually is because they're reading so much about it, they're probably going to get pissed off and leave. So not every single piece of content has to be thousands of words. So the next thing they say is to share personal or social information, to share pictures, videos, or other forms of media, to express an opinion or point of view, to entertain, to sell products or services, to allow users to post questions or for other users to answer, and to allow users to share files or download software. Now, these are kind of all different intents that Google's showing here, right? So what I said is, but what's key here is intent. Google wants website owners to provide content based on what people are actually looking for. What's the best way to find out? Just see what similar content is ranking for in some of the most competitive niches, take a page from every niche and niche's intent, but with the highest competitive keywords, and build a true list of amazing example pages, like for instance, about weight loss page or contact us at insane competitive keyword. So that would be the search. So it's kind of what I was talking about before, but if you're in an industry and you don't know how to rank for something, look for people who have really authoritative content that's ranking really well and bringing in traffic, and you can see how much traffic they're bringing in with tools like Ahrefs and SEMrush and stuff like that, or at least estimations, and then use that as a template. All right, Google says we have very high page quality page quality rating standards for YMYL pages, and YMYL means your money, your life. It's going to explain what that means right here. So hold on. Because low quality YMYL pages could potentially negatively impact users' happiness, health, or financial stability. So that makes sense, right? If somebody's going on a health site to find out about a health problem, you hopefully want to trust that Google can give you information that is relevant and accurate. So their quality rating guidelines or standards are higher, meaning harder, than if you're just trying to rank for like a gaming page or something like that. So here we go. Which means that page quality guidelines matter even more for certain sites than others, meaning some industries have templatized rating guidelines than other sites, which seems like you can manipulate more somehow. It could also mean that YMYL pages information gets cross-checked more with authority sources. So what's one of the best ways Google can see whether or not the information is accurate? It can cross-check with other sites that are authoritative. And I have case studies on this where I took, what was it? Like for instance, Maryland search engine optimization, and I just included information from Wikipedia on that page and got it to rank #1 without any backlinks. So this is a great example of why using hyper-relevant content and authoritative content that Google can cross-compare to rank for your stuff. So here's some categories of what YMYL is. So news, legal, financial, and political. We got another note that says web pages for transactions or payments, banking, etc. And I'm assuming pages leading to those. So these are all the different types of things that Google wants to make sure is not going to get wrong. Web pages that provide advice or information about investment, taxes, retirement planning, home purchase, paying for college, buying insurance, etc. Web pages that provide advice for information about health, drugs, specific diseases or conditions, mental health, nutrition, etc. Web pages that provide legal advice or information on topics such as divorce, child custody, creating a will, becoming a citizen, etc. Web pages that include information about local, state, national government processes, people and laws, disaster response services, government programs and social services, news about important topics such as international events, business, politics, science, technology, etc. They say web pages, but I'm assuming websites as well. So what does that mean? It means that if you're in any of those type of things and you have a site that's not really showing who it is or what it does, or if it's really accurate information is not, and you're not cross-checking that stuff, and you're using extra spammy practices and like ads and stuff, it's going to be a lot harder to rank in these type of categories with that stuff than it would be to rank for like a meme website. Cool. So here we go. All of the content on a web page can be classified as one of the following: main content, which is abbreviated for what they say as MC, supplementary content, which they abbreviate as SC, or advertisement, monetization, ads. So it's the three types they categorize anything that they see on a web page. So creating high quality main content takes a significant amount of at least one of the following: time, effort, expertise, and talent skill. So this is really interesting here. They tell you what they're looking for a web page. They're saying if this web page has one of the following at least, it's going to consider it a high quality main content on the page. So how does Google measure time, effort, expertise, talent, skill? So obviously time means it's not just something that like you can rank overnight, right? You don't want to, or Google doesn't want to just have people go and write an article and have it rank overnight unless it's like a news article, right? So that's because they try to make it so that people make quality content, and it's not just like content that people can throw up on a website and start getting like #1 rankings for highly competitive keywords, or at least highly searched keywords, right? So time isn't just like the time aspect of how much time that goes into it, but the fact that it's like time in general is a big part of what Google considers. Also, how often do you update your posts? How relevant is the information to like right now, right? So that's why relaunching content is so effective. So the next one is effort. So how much like effort did you actually put into the post? Is it page speed optimized? Is there like list items in there? Are you like completely covering subjects, or are you just like adding 2 paragraphs about something that could be expanded on more? I'm just guessing right now what Google's looking at, but you know, obviously you guys can take this for what you want to take it as well. Expertise, so you know, authority, super big. Kind of goes back to the topical content clusters I was talking about, where are you an authority in that subject, right? And this also goes back to what we were talking about earlier is if you're not an authority, then why are you talking about things that should be from an authority perspective if it's one of those YMYL pages, right? So you don't want people who are just like Joe Schmo writing about topics that are YMYL if that's the industry you're in, according to Google, right? And talent and skill. So, you know, grammar. Do you know a lot about the subject? This probably also goes into like things where things that Bill Slawski talks about, like co-occurring keyword terms. Are you using authoritative content that can be compared to other places? That kind of stuff. So, like I said, this can be interpreted however you want to interpret it. This is how I interpret it. So important. They literally say important right here. So anytime Google says important, and if this stuff isn't important, then you really should think about like what they would say is important, right? Because they only say this a few times throughout the content. So important. Low quality main content is a sufficient reason to give a low quality rating. So for an entire web page. So it doesn't matter about the supplementary content, it doesn't matter about how, you know, authoritative the site is. If there's low quality main content, that's a sufficient reason to give an entire web page a low quality rating. So obviously if you're putting web pages out there and the main content is really low quality, let's just take for instance, say you're like an image-based site and you have a bunch of images on one page and they're really slowing down the page and there's no content on there, like, you know, to describe what the page is about, and the title tags are jacked up, that kind of stuff. Well, the title tags wouldn't be in the main content, but you get what I'm saying. You know, that's enough reason to basically give the entire page a low quality rating. Google doesn't want to see a bunch of low quality pages on your site. They want to see a bunch of high quality pages on your site because that shows high quality website, right? It's not just about one page. Obviously, you can rank one page without having, you know, an entirely high quality website, but it helps to have a lot of high quality pages on your website in general. Julio says, wow, this is deep. What do you guys think so far? Are you guys enjoying this? Give me a hashtag yes if you're enjoying this. I don't know why it has to be a hashtag, but all right. Important. An unsatisfying amount. Oh, sorry, I already said that. Here's an example of how Google sees main content on the homepage of a news site. So we're going to go look at main content on a news site. So this is Fox News. You can see here, this is everything that Google considers main content. What's another thing that is important to look at here? If we see this as main content and Google sees this as main content, do you think Google wants to see main content on another page? Absolutely not. It wants to see main content as unique content. And what unique content is it means that you're not sharing this on 100 different pages. Now, supplementary content is actually supposed to be on multiple pages because it's supposed to enhance user experience. Whereas main content is just supposed to be the purpose of that page. So we'll talk about that a little bit more. I actually, through the SEO for Affiliate series, I've been doing a lot of dealing with main content, duplicate content issues. If you guys want to see how I deal with that with canonicals and Siteliner, stuff like that, just go ahead and see the most recent episode of the SEO for Affiliates guide. We're on part 15 right now, I think. So we got some yeses from Thomas, from Anshul, from Mystic Physics, and Project Solar says, would product pages be main content? So, like I said, we're going to be looking at more main content in a second. Let me know in a little bit, Project, if you still don't get it. So Google says the purpose of this page, of this one we just looked at, the news page, is to inform users about recent or important events, which sounds like, so on my opinion, this sounds like a guideline to me to make a news website's homepage to replicate a similar theme, right? So if you have a news website, you just follow this right here, this guideline. Inform users about recent or important events. So if you're wondering, what do I use for my homepage on a news website? Maybe you're saying you think there should be a call to action, or you should have internal link styles going to other pages. This is what Google says. That's all it wants for this news homepage to do. Inform users about recent or important events. So that's easy enough, right? That's the cool thing about these guidelines is they give you all of these different pages and the purposes of these pages, and then they give you exact examples of pages that Google thinks is high quality pages. It's really cool. And then we're going to go into some other stuff too of what Google thinks is the opposite. So you can see here I listed out all of these things for you. And just note, this stuff isn't exactly how the guide is. I just, like I said in the beginning, I took a bunch of parts out of it and then pasted them all together so that it's a little bit more understandable. Julio says, give us your perspective on local impact. So like I said, let me get to the end of this before you guys start trying to ask me questions. News article page. Stored product page. The purpose is to sell, news article page. So not the home page, an actual article page would be the purpose is to communicate information about an event or news topic, which means you should also include event or news markup on these pages. If you guys don't know how to do that, I would check out the advanced schema markup guide I made. I actually haven't made one for news markup or event markup, but I should do that at some point in the future. That'd be really cool to have a tutorial on that. Just another quick note. If you guys want to see more tutorials on my YouTube channel and less of the buy courses where you have to actually be in the courses to see this stuff, I will at some point, if I get enough people to support me on Patreon, be able to do videos all free without doing courses all the time. But I don't know if enough people would be willing to donate to that. So for the time being, I have to sell the courses, but whatever, it is what it is. So either way, oh, the light just went out. So the next one we got is video page. So the purpose of video pages is to allow users to view a video. It's pretty obvious, right? I said clearly by understanding a user's intent and giving them the landing page that not only they, but Google understands in which that the page serves its purpose is the ultimate goal. Google is clearly trying to figure out how to rank pages based on their purpose. So it's all the same stuff we're talking about. So Now we're going to go over how Google defines SC, or supplementary content. So Google says supplementary content contributes to a good user experience on the page but does not directly help the page achieve its purpose. SC is controlled by webmasters and is an important part of the user experience. So what are we talking about here? We're talking about things that are in the footer, things that are in the sidebar, anything that's going to be on multiple pages to improve or enhance user experience. So one common type of supplementary content is navigation links that allows users to visit other parts of the website. Note that in some cases, content behind tabs may be considered part of the supplementary content of the page. Sometimes the easiest way to identify supplementary content is to look for the parts of the web page that are not main content or ads. So my opinion is that means we can confirm that internal linking to related posts as supplementary content seems to be suggested by Google. So let's go look at it. So this is what supplementary content looks like. So you can see we got the menu, we got the sidebar, 2 related blogs, most talked about things, other news, and then the stuff in the footer. What's up, West 10? How you doing? All right. So here's a summary of everything I've been posting about in the last week about Google's PQ guidelines. So if you guys aren't in the Facebook group, what I was doing for a while is I was posting everything that I was finding in these guidelines. And I'm still not done with these guidelines. Like I said, I'm on page 50, but it's just taken me so long to take all these notes. So main content is any part of the page that directly helps the page achieve its purpose. Main content is, or should be, the reason the page exists. The quality of the main content plays a very large role in the page quality rating of a web page. Supplementary content, or SC, is also important. Supplementary content helps a page better achieve its purpose, or it can detract from the overall experience. So if you have really spammy supplementary content, like for instance a sidebar with like moving, pop-up ads and stuff like that, that's not really helpful supplementary content and could detract from a bunch of pages' overall experience. So you want to be careful with how you're using supplementary content. Many pages have advertisements, monetization, ads. Without advertising and monetization, some web pages could not exist because it costs money to maintain a website and create high-quality content. The presence or absence of ads is not by itself a reason for a higher or low-quality rating. So let's make a note of that. Some people think that if you have ads on a website, it'll make it rank higher. That's not true, according to Google. On some pages, reviews may be considered MC, and other pages, they may be considered supplementary content. Use your best judgment and think about the purpose of the page. So let's just repeat that again. Think about the purpose of the page. Google's trying to identify the purpose of web pages. So do not worry too much about identifying every little part of the page. Think about which parts of the page are the main content. Next, look for the ads. Anything left over can be considered supplementary content. So let's go ahead and click on this. Here's all of it. We got an ad at the top. We got supplementary content over here, and then main content here. That's everything. All right. So here we go. Every page belongs to a website, and it should be clear. Who? So this is really important. I think this is probably one of the most important parts of this of the notes I took. If you guys could follow one thing, I think it would be, or if you guys could listen to one thing, it would be this. Here we go. So just to reiterate, every page belongs to a website, and it should be clear. So Google's saying this is something that we should see on pretty much every website. Or website, they say other things for other websites too, what they're expecting for other websites. But here we go. Who? What individual, company, business, foundation, etc. is responsible for the website? So about pages, contact pages if you can, information about what this website is about, who runs it. Google wants to know what this entity is. So we also got who, what individual, company, business, foundation, etc. created the content on the page you're evaluating. So when you're writing content, it's not just some random person from the other side of the world that doesn't know what you're talking about, and you're just paying them, money just to make content so you can rank for it. Next, we got websites are usually very clear about who created the content on the page. There are many reasons for this. Commercial websites may have copyrighted material they want to protect. Businesses want users to know who they are. Artists, authors, musicians, and other original content creators usually want to be known and appreciated. Foundations often want support and even volunteers. High-quality stores want users to feel comfortable buying online. Most websites have contact us or about pages that provide information about who owns the site. Many companies have an entire website or blog devoted to who they are and what they are doing, what jobs are available, etc. Google and Marriott are both examples of this, and there are many others. Google official blog, Marriott blog, Southwest airline blog, Netflix tech blog. So anytime somebody tells you you shouldn't have an about us page, or you shouldn't have a blog, or any of that stuff, contact page, generally it's a really good idea to have those things, because it shows Google that this site is, one, it's active, it tells people what we're about, who we are, and Google likes that kind of stuff. Google likes to see transparency, and so do users. So next we got the types and amount of contact information needed depend on the type of website. So this kind of just goes over what we're talking about. It doesn't matter 100% for every website. So there are certain cases where you're not going to have, contact information because you don't want to be contacted. But even then, you can still put like a support email or something where people can at least get in contact with you somehow. So you can see here, it says contact information and customer service information are extremely important for websites that handle money, such as stores, banks, credit card companies, etc. Users need a way to ask questions or get help when a problem occurs. So if you're doing transactions on your website, you're dealing with YMYL type websites, you want to be able to have places where people can contact you, because it shows that your website isn't just going to take people's money and then steal it and not have any way for people to get refunds or have people ask questions. So here's a highlight I think I made. Google said, a website's reputation is based on the experience of real users, as well as the opinion of people who are experts in the topic of the website. Keep in mind that websites often represent real companies, organizations, and other entities. Therefore, reputation research applies to both the website and the actual company, organization, or entity that that website is representing. So just really quickly before we move on from that, let's just take the first thing they say. A website's reputation is based on the experience of real users. How does Google know that? You guys got to think about this stuff, right? As well as the opinion of people who are experts in the topic of the website. How does Google know what the opinion of experts are on this website? Keep in mind that websites often represent real companies, organizations, and other entities, meaning these are real things, not just websites that are there to make money and get traffic. Therefore, reputation research applies to both the website and the actual company, organization, or entity that that website is representing. So let me know if this makes sense to you guys. I know you're going to have some questions at the end, but if it does make sense, just give me a 1 in the chat. All right. A website's reputation can also help you understand what a website is best known for, and as a result, how well it accomplishes its purpose. For example, newspapers may be known for high-quality, independent, and investigative reporting, while satire websites may be known for their humor. So another just reinforcement on Google looks for entities, right? Being known for something is better than just creating content and ranking for it based off not having prior rankings or information on that subject. All right, Mystic Physics gives us a 1. West End Travel gives us a 1. Project Solar says a 1. Julio gives us a 1. Right on. All right, so next we got Google saying, look for reviews, references, recommendations by experts, news articles, and other credible information written by individuals about the website. So this just has to do with what they're asking their page quality raters to look for, but obviously having citations, sources, links, whatever you want to call it, is helpful to decipher whether or not content, pages, or sites are authoritative, know what they're talking about, and have other people recommending their stuff. which means referencing other high quality. So I said here, which means referencing other high authority sources in places you've been mentioned. Mentioning other places. Let me just read this again. Which means referencing other high authority sources in places you've been mentioned can prove to be really important. In quotes or in parentheses, point to awards or references. So it's good if you have like achievements to be able to show those in the places that you're trying to basically create reputation as something you can point to. A good example of this is like Backlinko. He like talks about on his site, he's like, as mentioned by Neil Patel, as mentioned by other expert, seen in Forbes, that kind of stuff. All right, if you guys are liking this stuff so far, make sure you leave a like and let me know. We'll keep this going. All right, so encouraging reviews can really help rankings apparently. So stores frequently have user ratings, which can help you understand a store's reputation based on the reports of people who've actually shopped there. We consider a large number of positive user reviews as evidence of positive reputation. So what does that mean? It means that if you have reviews, and I do this on my sites too, mention them somewhere because it shows that you're a reputable company. So that's why I try to get reviews on places like Google My Business, as many as I can, as well as getting reviews if it was like an e-commerce site, to get reviews on those and like leave places where people can leave reviews for products, because of aggregate rating as a click-through rate metric you can start increasing, but also it's just going to hopefully help the entire page rank higher if you have reviews for products, right? So if we took like iPhone repair, you'll see the first thing I did with this website, well, it's been edited because I sold it to somebody, but I think it's still here. You can see, boom, review. And when I had the website, I had like 3 reviews on it. And then I put it on the other pages as well. So yeah. So next, Google says recommendations from expert sources such as professional societies are strong evidence of a very positive reputation. So I don't really know what a professional society is, but I'm sure this just means from other authoritative sources. So now Google actually shows how to search for a site's reputation. It says using IBM.com as an example, try one or more of the following searches. It shows you, use this with the different modifiers, whatever, and it'll show you like the reviews that this company has and that kind of thing. So Google seems to correlate trustworthiness on your site by having reviews from these. For businesses, there are many sources of reputation, information, and reviews. Here are some examples. So Google actually shows what sources it looks like for reviews, what it looks at for reviews. So Yelp, Better Business Bureau, a nonprofit organization, we already know what that is, Amazon, Google Shopping, etc., etc. So Google also gives an indirect link building tip here. They say users in the U.S. can obtain free credit reports on this website by providing their social security number. Note that the Wikipedia article tells us that annualcreditreport.com is the only federally mandated and authorized source for obtaining a free credit report. So Google's basically saying getting reference from high authority sites, whether they're saying Wikipedia or not, I don't think it really matters, but they're saying that if you are trying to build links, basically this is what they're saying, by standing out, by being like one of the only things that does this, or creating content that's really unique, or being really unique, that's what's going to get you mentioned by other authority sources. So Google says frequently you will find little or no information about the reputation of a website or small organization. This is not indicative of positive or negative reputation. Many small businesses or community organizations have a small web presence and rely on word of mouth, not online reviews. For these small businesses and organizations, lack of reputation should not be considered an indication of low page quality. Links, so they're saying of low page quality, but they're not saying of entire website presence, right? Links and citations for large business websites are more important than small business. So that's just a note I took. If you have a small business, you're obviously able to rank a lot easier without links than if you were to try to rank a large business. Anyways, so important. Gosh darn it. I thought I turned off iMessage. Damn it. Hold on. Okay. So where was I? Important. So this is another thing that Google says, or actually, sorry, I said, I guess. So important, Google page quality rating, most important factors, how your content should be created and updated for main niches. So this is the most important quality rating factors. So this is what Google says. Here are the most important factors to consider when selecting an overall page quality rating. Expertise, authoritativeness, trustworthiness. So this is an important quality characteristic. Use your research on the additional factors below to inform your rating. So this is what they talk about a lot. It's called EAT, E-A-T, and you'll see some freaking SEO experts talk about this stuff, and that's what it means. And we'll dissect this right now so you guys know what it means. So, main content quality and amount. The rating should be based on the landing page of the task URL. Website information about who is responsible for the website. Links to help with website. Wait, what is going on right now? I'm getting so confused. The problem is I took all these notes on my phone, so I'm having a hard time remembering if this is like a note, because I put a lot of this stuff in quotes, but then I think I took notes after. We'll just keep going. So website reputation, links to help with reputation research will be provided. High quality medical advice. Okay, I think I got lost. So, we'll just go back to EAT. So expertise, authoritativeness, trustworthiness. So it kind of goes back to the stuff we were talking about before. Time, what was it? All this stuff that we were talking about. It was like the different things that Google considers main content to be high quality. It was like time, expertise, whatever. But if they were to sum it up more, I guess, over like an entire quality of an entire web page, so supplementary content, ads, main content, everything, and I think of an entire website as well. They just sum it down to expertise, authoritativeness, and trustworthiness. So if we look at expertise, that means the site, the people writing for it, and the content is all hopefully somewhat knowledgeable about what it's talking about. It's not just, you know, creating content just for the purpose of rankings. Authoritativeness, meaning the website's trustworthy. Hopefully there's about, you know, pages. There's presence on the web. People are talking about it. It's probably, you know, high quality links going to the site. And then also trustworthiness, which is part of authoritativeness, I think, which also has to do with, you know, like SSL, whatever other trusted signals you can send, you know, reviews, stuff like that. But that also plays into authoritativeness, which also I think is a part of expertise. So all of these kind of things play into each other in my opinion. But so this here, I think Google explains the different types of pages. So high quality medical advice should come from people or organizations with appropriate medical expertise or accreditation. High quality medical advice or information should be written or produced in a professional style and should be edited, reviewed, and updated on a regular basis. That's a really good hint right there, to update your content on a regular basis if you're talking about medical advice. High quality news articles should contain factually accurate content presented in a way that helps users achieve a better understanding of events. Established editorial policies and review processes are typically held by high quality news sources, example 1 and example 2, which are these two different links that were there, but I wasn't able to link to it because it was in a notepad. High quality information pages on scientific topics should represent well-established scientific consensus on issues where such a consensus exists. High quality financial advice, legal advice, tax advice, etc. should come from expert sources and be maintained and updated regularly. High quality advice pages on topics such as home remodeling, which can cost thousands of dollars and impact your living situation, or advice on parenting issues, which can impact the future happiness of a family, should also come from expert or experienced sources that users can trust. And then high quality pages on hobbies such as photography or learning to play a guitar also require expertise. Google penalizes, so I think I took a note here. Google penalizes sites that require expert content but don't have it. So here we go. This is what Google says. Some topics require less formal expertise. Many people write extremely detailed, helpful reviews of products or restaurants. Many people share tips and life experiences on forums, blogs, etc. These ordinary people may be considered experts in topics where they have life experience. If it seems as if the person creating the content has the type and amount of life experience to make him or her an expert on the topic, we will value this everyday expertise and not penalize the person, webpage, or website for not having formal education or training in the field. So this is important. Some topics require less formal expertise, meaning you don't have to be a doctor in order to, have expertise in that subject. Like, for instance, SEO, a lot of that is actually life experience, going through stuff and talking based off what you've been able to experience in the past, right? Mainly because this isn't we don't know for sure a lot of the stuff we talk about is 100% correct. Like, we can tell what a high quality web pages and stuff, but we don't know, for instance, whether or not certain algorithms are still working, or if a page has been hit by a penalty. We do for manual penalties, but algorithmically we don't always know 100% if it's just one algorithm or if it's multiple. So this has to do more with life experience, right? And then also knowing a lot about the subject from what you've learned, right? But in the end, that's still more opinion-based than if something was like a fact, like, if you have Ebola, you should go to the hospital, right? That's a fact. And if somebody's telling you something other than that, like you should treat that in holistic, with holistic medicine or something, that's not a fact. You should never do that, right? If you're bleeding from the eyes. So the amount of content necessary so Google says the amount of content necessary for the web page to be satisfying depends on the topic and purpose of the page. A high quality page on a broad topic with a lot of available information will have more content than a high quality page on a narrow topic, meaning that a satisfactory amount of content to Google doesn't always have to be thousands of words. So Google's example of a high quality local about page. So this, I think, might be addressing a little bit what Julia was asking around about local. So there is an About Us page on a restaurant website. This page provides information on when the restaurant opened and what visitors can expect. Other pages on the website provide information about the restaurant, including the address, menu, other contact information, etc. This website is highly authoritative because it's about itself. So let's go check it out. So here it is. The first thing you notice upon entering Harbor Fish and Chips is the large display of mounted fish on the wall. But the reason why you just walked in may have been the inviting aroma emanating from the Oceanside landmark. The family-owned and operated restaurant was started in July of 1969. So this is showing a lot of different authority here, because it's saying, look, we're right next to here. We've been here in business for a long time. Here's the owners. And by doing this kind of stuff, you're sending signals to Google saying, hey, look, we're a real website. We're really in this area. And this is really who we are, right? And people, right? So next we got examples of highest quality pages. Go to page 25. So that was just a note for myself. Here's what constitutes a low quality page in Google's eyes. So now we're going to go over the opposite. And we're almost done. We're like, almost done. Like I said, though, guys, this is like page 50, me taking notes, and this isn't even like all of the content at all that Google is saying. This is like really dry stuff. So if you are getting bored, I do apologize. I'm trying to make it as interesting as possible, but this is the kind of stuff that, isn't exactly the most fun stuff to learn, but it is really important. And just understanding these principles is going to be really helpful in the long run, in my opinion. So either way, let's try to power through this. So Google says low quality pages are unsatisfying or lacking in some element that prevents them from achieving their purpose well. These pages lack expertise or are not very trustworthy, authoritative for the purpose of the page. So let's just say that again. These pages lack expertise or are not very trustworthy or authoritative. So they lack EAT, right? If a page has one of the following characteristics, the low rating is usually appropriate. So here we go. Here's what consists of a low quality page. The author of the page or website does not have enough expertise for the topic of the page, whether it be life experience or actual, expertise on that topic, right? Through education. Is not so, and or the website is not trustworthy or authoritative for the topic. So if the website is not trustworthy and it's not authoritative, because Google looks at those two things, for the topic, right? That's low quality for a page, right? Based off the website. So like I said, you can, in the beginning I said, you can rank a web page if the entire site is not authoritative. But it's harder and it's easier to rank pages if you have a website that is authoritative and it also is recognized as an entity, as an authority in that niche. So in other words, the page website is lacking EAT. The quality of the main content is low. That's another reason. There's unsatisfying amount of main content for the purpose of the web page. So having too little content can also be a bad thing, right? Main content is present but difficult to use due to distracting, disruptive, / misleading ads and other content / features, etc. There's an unsatisfying amount of website information for the purpose of the website. No good reason for anonymity. So basically, if you're just trying to hide from people for no reason, except for the fact that you don't want to have to deal with them, right? The website has a negative reputation. Other sources are mentioning the website, right, in a bad way. So consider this example. Most students have to write papers for a high school or college. Many students take shortcuts to save time and effort by doing one or more of the following. So this is an example of what Google, like this is basically against Google's webmaster guidelines, right? You can actually get manual penalties for this stuff. So not for this one, but for some of this stuff, right? Like spinning content. So here we go. Buying papers online or getting someone else to write it for them. Because they don't want to, they want other people to just say they're an expert and then you sign off and say you were the one who wrote it. Including inaccurate information such as making things up, stretching the truth, or creating a false sense of doubt about well-established facts. So that's another thing. So Google keeps mentioning how it looks at, whether or not these facts are established or not, right? Are these true? Writing quickly with no drafts or editing. I don't know how Google looks at that. At least the editing part, I know they probably look at whether the grammar is correct. Failing to cite sources or making up sources where none exist. Filling the report with large pictures or other distracting content. Copying the entire report from an encyclopedia or paraphrasing content by changing words or sentence structures here and there. Using commonly known facts, for example, Argentina is a country. People live there. Argentina has borders. So this is a little bit different than the thing I was talking about Wikipedia. And this is also different if it's a local site, right? If it's a local-based keyword, it's better to do this because then people are looking for information about that area. If this is just like SEO is search engine optimization and your audience already knows what it is, then it's a little bit more annoying because it's already commonly known facts. Using a lot of words to communicate only basic ideas or facts. For example, pandas eat bamboo. Pandas eat a lot of bamboo. Bamboo is the best food for a panda bear. Misleading titles can result in a very poor user experience when users click a link only to find that the web page does not match their expectations. So if you're trying to rank a page and your title tag or your anchor text is saying something that's not what that page is about, then obviously you're not providing the best experience possible for the users, right? So that's why clickbait articles I think are getting they're not doing as well in Google's results I don't know if they are, but I'm assuming from a lot of their updates that they've been making around this stuff, they're doing worse. So here are some examples of misleading titles, ads, or supplementary content. At first glance, the ads or supplementary content appear to be main content. Some users may interact with ads or supplementary content believing that ads or supplementary content is main content. Here's an example. And in the example, they just show a website with, the supplementary content on the sidebar, which looks like main content, except it's on every page. Next, we got ads appear to be supplementary content links, where the users would expect that clicking the link will take them to another page within the same website, but actually takes them to a different website. Some users may feel surprised or confused when clicking supplementary content or links that go to a page on a completely different website. So if you're just using those affiliate links in supplementary content and it looks like it's helpful content that you're going to be linking on your site, that's not a good sign, because it's going to be confusing users. Google's not going to be happy. So ads or supplementary content that that entice users to click with shocking or exaggerated titles, images, and or text. So clickbait, right? These can leave users feeling disappointed or annoyed when they click and see the actual and far less interesting content. Here's an example. So they just show a clickbait article. Titles of pages or links, text, and supplementary content that are misleading or exaggerated compared to the actual content of the page. This can result in a very poor experience. So they did an example of like sea serpent can lead to earthquake in Taiwan. It's just like totally over exaggerated. Doesn't even make sense. Important. So here's another important thing. Google doesn't say a lot of these. Negative reputation is sufficient reason to give a page a low quality rating. Evidence of truly malicious or fraudulent behavior warrants the lowest rating. Cool. All right. I think we're almost done. Let's just see where we're at. Let's go down here. Yeah, we're almost done. So here are some types of pages or websites that are highly untrustworthy, unreliable, unauthoritative, inaccurate, or misleading. These pages should always receive the lowest rating. Harmful or malicious pages or websites. So we were just looking at low quality websites. This is the lowest. So this is absolute lowest quality pages. So harmful or malicious pages or websites, places where you're going to get viruses and stuff like that, malware. True lack of purpose pages or websites. So doorway pages where people just go to a page and it just links them to another page, or pages that are just like, have absolutely no purpose. Like you're indexing like a page that has, that's literally just like header for, it's like just like an image of the header for your website. That has no purpose, right? Pages or websites that misinterpret the website owner or purpose, such as by impersonating a different site, in other words, copied logo or branding of an unaffiliated site, URL that mimics another site's name. So copied content, aggregated content, stuff like that. Pages or websites that appear to be deliberate attempts to misinform, deceive users by presenting factually inaccurate content, fake product reviews, demonstrably inaccurate news, etc. So fake news, fake product reviews, content that's been copied, content that's been altered to be factually incorrect, duplicate content. Google doesn't want to see any of this stuff because it just kills user experience, right? Google wants its users to have the best experience possible. Pages or websites created to make money with little to no attempt to help users. So all those review sites where they're just like, hey, buy my, here, just click on these products and buy them. Pages with extremely low or lowest quality main content. So content's just terrible, meaning it's probably any of these things right here. Pages on your money, your life, websites that are lacking in website information that feels untrustworthy. So again, not having any information about websites is usually not a good thing. Pages or websites created with no expertise, pages that are highly untrustworthy, unreliable, or unauthoritative. So we've been talking about this stuff too. Pages or websites with factually inaccurate content that can cause harm to users regardless of their purpose or intent. In other words, inaccurate medical information, inaccurate information about how to vote, obtain a visa or green card, pay government taxes, etc. Hacked websites, spam pages, defaced websites, websites that have extremely negative or malicious reputations, violations of the Google Webmaster Guidelines, such as pages on websites with little or no original content on the website as a whole, pages or websites created with the sole purpose of promoting hate or violence against a group of people based on criteria including but not limited to race or ethnicity, religion, gender, nationality, or citizenship, disability, age, sexual orientation, or veteran status. And all of the following should be considered either lowest quality main content or no main content. So no helpful main content at all, or so little main content that that page effectively has no main content. Main content that consists almost entirely of keyword stuffing. So you just keep mentioning the same words over and over and on a page just to get keywords in there. Gibberish or meaningless main content. Auto-generated main content, or main content that was otherwise created with little to no time, effort, expertise, manual curation, or added value for users. Misleading or inaccurate informational content about your money, your life topics. Pages or websites that appear to be deliberate attempts to misinform, deceive users by presenting factually inaccurate content. Pages or websites that with factually inaccurate content that may harm or deceive users regardless of their purpose or intent. Main content that consists almost entirely of content copied from another source with little time, effort, expertise, manual curation, or added value for users. So the last thing that I took as a note, and this is section 2.5, I think there's like 10 sections or something. They said, we expect most websites to have some information about who is responsible for the website. So we already know about all this stuff, right? Basically, what I got out of this whole thing was really just everything around EAT, right? Creating authority content, trustworthy content, and expertise content, right? Expert content is what Google considers the highest value content. Anything over that, like even in other situations where you're just going to be ranking for things that you don't necessarily have to be an expert in, you still have to have some sort of life experience and know about that topic. Google wants to see that you know what you're talking about, that you know user intent, and that you're providing a great user experience for that intent. So that's it for that one. If you guys want to ask any questions now, if you want to comment, go ahead, start commenting. I was going to show you guys some on-page basics because this was going to be part 8, like I said, of the beginner to advanced SEO course. As you can see here, we're on part 8, and this was a video to give you guys sort of an overview of what we're doing in here. All of the videos have been extremely informative. I've been doing as much as I can to make this the best course that I have yet. So if you guys haven't got this course, I really would recommend you get it before I change the price tomorrow to $300 an entry. Right now it's only at $97. And like I said, I will leave a link to the course in the description of this video. But as I showed you guys before, I was covering 2 days ago was Google algorithms, all the different algorithms that are out, setting up all the plugins, how I set up Yoast, how I set up WPSSO, how I set up schema, that kind of stuff. You know, what you're going to want to know about setting up domains and hosting, all that different SEO acronyms and abbreviations, setting up analytics and going through all the different parts of analytics and Search Console, and then an intro to SEO basics and continuing SEO basics. So it doesn't look like any of you guys are asking questions right now. So maybe we will end this now. Somebody, YC Lawson, just said what course you're referring to. So as I was saying a second ago, this video right here is a preview of what we're doing in my beginner to advanced SEO course. This is part 8 that you guys are watching right now. So if you guys want to watch all the other parts and the future parts, which are not going to be posted on this YouTube channel, all you have to do is go to the link in the description or just go to chasereiner.com and then go check it out. It's right here. View the course. Boom. It's on the home page. And you can go ahead and sign up before I change the price tomorrow. Cool. So for the people who are watching the course, who are in the course, our next lesson we're going to be going on page basics. We'll probably be going over Quora, looking at all of the different metrics in Quora. I just started optimizing my page for White Hat SEO, and it's actually going really well. I changed a lot of the stuff that I found, which was giving me problems on Quora as the correlation deficiencies, as you can see in here. And you can see here it says, add all these different tags, and this is the overview. And I started adding more LI tags. I changed some of the heading tags, and then I started fixing some of the content, stuff like that, adding more variations, and then adding some of the LSI deficients. And what I saw already from it is that we are ranking higher, I believe, for white hat SEO. So you can see here, we're at the bottom of the first page for white hat SEO. And I'm assuming it's going to go up even higher when we start doing a little bit more in Quora. But I wanted to make small changes and then document those and then rerun Quora so that we can look at it. So if you guys haven't seen that video, the last video I did on YouTube was going over this software without having any knowledge of how it works, and just started to run the tool. If you guys want to get this tool as well, I got a 25% lifetime discount for this tool on this video from the actual owner of the tool, which this is the only place you're going to be able to get this discount on it if you guys want to check it out. Unfortunately, there aren't any free trials for it, but the code is right here in the description of the video. All right, before I go, we got a couple people. We got Emmanuel saying, "What's up, Chase? What's up, man?" YC Lawson says, "Thanks, you're welcome." Julia says, "Chase has quality content for SEO." Thanks, Julia. YC says, "What would you prefer, Quora over SERPT?" I don't really know what SERPT is, but I'm really thinking Quora is like the ultimate SEO tool, and I haven't really been looking for new SEO tools lately, but in the past I used to spend like so much time looking for SEO tools, and this one is really killer. YC says, "Do you teach local and national rankings? Sorry for all the questions. I am new to your channel and want to learn for my business." So yeah, if you're not in the SEO Facebook group, I would go get an invite. I left a link in the description as well. But I do have a local course, which if you guys are looking to learn local, this is a case study of me basically documenting my journey for ranking for SEO in my city in under a month and a half. And this is really good for people who want to be able to start showing people that they can rank for SEO in their town, because that's usually the first step in order to really start getting clients, in my opinion, is to be able to at least say that you can rank in your town. I know it's not relevant. I made a meme about it the other day about how it's not really going to bring you a lot of traffic unless you're in really saturated areas. But what it will do is most people who don't know SEO will take that as a sign that you know what you're doing. And if you're number one in your town, that's how you can start bringing in local clients, start doing meetup groups and stuff like that. And if you guys want to check out after that, the How to Get SEO Clients course, I have a course for that as well, which goes over how the different ways I get clients and how I convert them into customers, and I set up my audits and all that stuff. Thomas, what's up, man? Hello, Chase from Poland. So yeah, if you guys want to check out these courses, you can see all of them on my website. Just go to chasestoner.com and you can go to SEO courses and just go check them out. I have descriptions of all of them in here, and this is actually notes that somebody took in the course itself, where you can go and see all the different notes they took about the course. And then here's a video of part 1. On all the courses, I have a video showing what the first video looks like for the course, what the outline looks like. And then occasionally, like this course, I will do a video in between so you guys can see what we're in the middle of. So that's it for today. I appreciate you all for coming by. I hope to see you guys in the Facebook group. And that's it. So until next time, guys, happy SEOing.